What's up, folks? So I'm getting my gear ready for my first BFL of the year. I'm going to be fishing the Ozark Division as a co-angler, and next weekend is our first BFL on Table Rock Lake. So I thought no better time than to go over what I'm getting ready to bring as a co-angler.
He's out of Jackson, Missouri. His name is Gabe Montgomery on the co-angler side.
That's a fat one there. Look at that. Looks like it's got eggs in it.
How about fifth place? Just over $1,000. They had 1961. Greg Glenn and Gabe Montgomery. Good job, guys.
That didn't take long. Another punch is good. Got one. Let's go. I did a video earlier. I talked about how to get involved in the tournament scene as a co-angler. I recommended a bass club. That's probably the best way to get going. After you get familiar with that, jump in some of the local team tournaments, and then you can venture out into, say, the BFLs and then the Costas or the Bass Opens. So let's talk about preparing for a tournament as a co-angler, and more specifically what to bring. There's two different scenarios. Let's start with the bass club. The bass club I'm in is a 9-9 club, and we fish out of small John boats. And there's not a lot of room in these John boats, so you don't want to bring a whole bunch of stuff, and you don't really need to. Simplifying is the best. Bring things that you have confidence in, and bring those things based on the seasonal patterns that are going on. For instance, right now it's winter time. There's no need for me to bring whopper ploppers and spooks, frogs, punching gear, no topwaters really. You might throw a black buzzbait in there just in case that water gets up in the low 50s. You kind of got to watch a couple days before the tournament, see what the weather is, what the warming trend, the weather trend is. But as a whole, you're not going to need any topwaters. So you've eliminated that whole class of gear. I'll show you what I usually take as a co-angler in a small boat. This is just this is like a 12-pack cooler for like a plain old cooler, igloo cooler. This is an off-brand cooler. This honestly is all you need in a small boat as a co-angler. You can fit your plastics in there. I can fit one or two of these Plano 3600s in here, no problem. I've got sunglasses, I've got scents, I've got plastics in there. And then over here, I've got another little pocket here. Got spike it pin, I've got some spare leader line, I got some more plastics. Got some backup jigs here. Got some scissors. That's all you need. You don't need a whole lot. I'm usually going to be taking 5 rods. I'm going to be taking, of course this depends on the season. For instance, right now it's winter time, so you're going to be taking an A-rig, a jerkbait, probably a jig. I like to throw a spinnerbait in the cold water and a tube. Just real simple. Keep it really, really simple. So 5 rods and a small tackle bag is all you're going to need as a co-angler in a John boat club. Now, if your bass club is a glass boat club, you're fishing out of bigger boats, I would still try to keep it simple. You may be able to throw in an extra rod or two, but as far as tackle, you don't need a whole lot. Now let's go on to the BFLs. In the BFLs, I'm usually taking 7 rods. You typically run into a lot of different scenarios, fishing bigger bodies of water. You're fishing with, different anglers. You don't know what you're going to be doing until the night before, so you need to have some backup rods. I'll take 8 rods with me, maybe 9, but I'll usually try to limit it to 6 or 7 actually go with me on the boat the day of the tournament. So it's okay to take them with you, but you may not need them in the boat. The deal is you can take as many rods as you want in the BFLs. but you got to deal with them all day long. You know, as a co-angler, you're sitting over there on the side and you've got all these rods. Your rods aren't going to be laying up on the deck like the boater. Your rods are all to the side. So they're getting tangled up throughout the day. When you make a long run, you got to make sure you seat them on the hook keeper, wrap them up real good. When you're running down the lake, you're bouncing around. If not, if you just let them hang off the back, they're going to wrap around your rods. It becomes a big mess. So you got to babysit those rods all day long. So the less kids you have to babysit, the better off you are. And another thing is if you need to get one of those rods really quick, say you're fishing a jig and all of a sudden some fish blow up, 30 yards from the boat, and you need to get that top water. If your crap's all tangled up, you can't get to it. You've got like 5 seconds to get to those fish and fire that top water out there. Just 7 rods is a good number. It's a really good number to have. Let me show you my tackle bag that I'll be taking with me. And this is a bag that I've had I fished 5 seasons of BFLs, and I had it about a year before that. So I've probably got 6, maybe 7 years on this bag. It's went with me anytime I've fun fished with other people in big boats and I need some extra tackle, different techniques. This is just a bag from Academy, and I would recommend a backpack. The reason why is you can throw that thing on your back. You can hold your rods with one hand, and you can hold your water and your snacks and your sandwich or something. So you're mobile. If you had a tackle bag that you'd actually have to carry, it's a lot more work. You can't quite do it. This is a good bag. These things cost about $50 from Academy. They make Cabela's. There's a ton of these tackle bags that are in the backpack form, but I highly would recommend these. This in particular one holds 4 3600s. They go right in here. You can stack 4 of them up there. It's got some storage in the front. You can put, some spare line, whatever you want to put in there, marker pins, scent. And then it also has some pockets here in the top. It's got a big storage area right here. I usually put spinnerbaits and buzzbaits, chatterbaits, things like that. I have a little box that I'll use for those. And then it's also got this little front panel that opens up. You can put more crap in there. You got way too much room in this thing. You don't need it, but it's nice to have. And it's pretty compact. This will actually fit in the rear storage compartment of, say, a 520 Ranger or a 20-foot boat. It'll fit in there nice and neat. Another thing I like about this, it came with this. This is supposed to be a cooler. This zips right here. I'm not gonna do it for you, but you can actually zip this together right here, and it's one unit. But I use this for plastics. I've got way too many plastics in there right now. Instead of a cooler, I use this for my plastics. So I can zip these two together, throw it on my back, and when I get in the boat after I've met my boater, I take this part off. I can put it in the storage compartment, or I can put it on the floor below me. It just makes the whole package smaller. But get a backpack, guys. That's, in my opinion, that's the way to go. You can free up your hands when you're meeting your boater in the morning. Now let's talk about what I feel is really important, and this touches on the downsizing as a co-angler. What do you put in these boxes? Like I said earlier, this thing holds 4 boxes. Sometimes I don't even need 4 boxes. Right now, it's winter time. Like I said earlier, I'm getting ready to go to Table Rock. What am I going to take? I'm going to keep it simple, guys. I don't need a whole lot of stuff. We're going to be throwing jerkbaits probably. There's a good chance. So, I'm going to have about a half a dozen jerkbaits in like the 110 size or the 100 size. Say Lucky Craft 100, Vision 110, that size. Then I'll have a few Lucky Craft 78, some of the smaller ones. I'll have a few Shad Raps in there. If you can see all these. I'm going to have some crankbaits. I'm going to have a few rock crawlers. I'll have a few DT6s. Probably have a Fritz side in there. And I'll have I'll just throw a square bill or 2 in there in case we get way upriver and we're fishing in the real muddy water and we're fishing really shallow. And as far as jigs, I'm gonna actually take. I got a jig box, but I'm gonna take probably, I don't know, a dozen to dozen and a half of these moccasin jigs. I'm gonna have some finesse jigs. I like the 5/16 and moccasin jigs. I'll have some 7/16. I'll have some flipping jigs. Excuse me, and I'll have some football jigs. So this is kind of all my hard baits and soft baits right there in one little box. Now, if I really feel like I need some additional colors, maybe I'll throw a couple more deep dive in jerk baits in there or something. I can, expand to another box if I need a few more crankbaits. I'll take more with me. But as far as out on the boat, that right there will probably be all the hard baits that I bring. And you can also have a jig box. So you could have half of these finesse jigs, flipping jigs, and then have some more football jigs in there. So that would be box number 2. Box number 3 is going to be your terminal tackle. It's just going to have all your hooks, your weights. I don't want to dump these out. Just Alabama rig stuff, underspins, swim bait heads, different treble hooks, underspins, shaky heads. I'm going to be fishing Ned head, shaky head. Probably drop shot. I'll have some drop shot weights in there, some hooks, some Texas rig, just some tungsten bullet weights, some rattles, snaps, a few small swim bait heads. That's one 3600, and there's a ton of stuff in there. So now I'm up to 3 boxes. I really don't even need a 4th box. You don't really need it. I'll probably put just some few random things in there just to have, because I've got in the room. And that's really it as far as packing the tackle. You'll need some scissors. Gotta have scissors. You'll need some form of scent. You can take some coal tags. It's good to have coal tags. You'll need a life vest. You definitely need rain gear. Always bring your rain gear. You want to bring some rain boots, some bibs, your parka, heavy clothes. It's going to be cold, so you're going to pack. I pack several layers. When it's really, really cold, I'm wearing like 4 or 5 layers. That's just the way I dress. So you're going to need multiple options for shirts. You're going to need gloves. You're going to need sock cap. You'll probably be making a long run, so you want a sock cap that stays on good. I think I said your life vest. You always want to have a life vest. It's a rule when you're fishing these tournaments. I wrote down a list of things. Sunscreen. It's important to have sunscreen. Doctor up your nose and your face in the morning. It's not a bad idea to have a small thing of G-juice. I've fished with a lot of these boaters, and their fish care is not on point. We've lost fish before because they weren't prepared. So I started carrying a little small bottle of that G-juice. G-juice is, I call it liquid Jesus. It removes the ammonia out of the water and keeps the fish alive. It replenishes the slime coat. It's good stuff. It's a little pricey, but it's well worth it. So keep a little bottle of that with you. You can take a spare reel. If you've got one rod that's got braid on there and you get to where we're not really using braid, if you don't want to tie a leader on there, you can have a reel with some fluoro or mono on there. You can just switch that reel out throughout the course of a day. Some leader material. I fish a spinning rod a lot. So I'm always going to have some 8-pound fluoro to tie to my 15-pound braid. I'll just keep a small spool of 8-pound fluoro in there. Take that with me. That's really about it. Oh, water and food. The best thing to do that I found is to just take like a plastic Walmart bag, put your 4 or 5 waters in there, a Gatorade, a sandwich, and some snacks. It's got 2 handles. Just carry that with you. Put it in the cooler when you get to your boater's boat. And I think that is it. I will show you. I'm going to have another video coming up, and I'll talk about the mindset as a co-angler. And let me show you how to wrap the rods. That's something that's taken me a little while to learn. Me and my fishing partner, Jonathan Blatto, we kind of came up with this decent way of wrapping these rods. And my buddy Jerry showed me another way of wrapping. So I'm going to combine all those and show you the best way to wrap your rods, in my opinion. So appreciate your time. I hope this helps. I know I was rambling. We'll talk about the mindset of a co-angler next time. And thank you for your support. Subscribe if you haven't. Share it on social media. Until next time.